Coming up in this episode, I discuss how I discovered that I've written a pile of garbage, which is the current state of book 2 in the James Lalonde series, and I share my experiences in experimenting with Amazon advertising and the results of the book promotion services that I purchased during the last week in January. Welcome to the Authorpreneur podcast. I'm your host, thriller writer Amelia D. Hay. On this podcast, I will bring you writing, book marketing, and self-publishing advice so that you can create your dream author business, build your author platform, and be creatively independent. You can find the episode show notes and lots more information on the podcast page at ameliahay.com/podcast. Hello writers, just to let you know, this episode was recorded on February 24th, so this show is primarily me looking back at the week starting from February 3rd to February 9th. There's no polite way to say this, but I've realised that I've written a pile of garbage and may need to completely rewrite the second book in my James Lalonde series. So the first lesson you've learned is never rush the initial creative brainstorming and outlining phase of a story. Just don't do that. But enough of my whining. My adventures in book marketing continue, and the journey resembles me rummaging around in the dark because I have no clue about what I am doing. At the same time, I'm learning a lot in the process, which is actually more important. While I'm on the topic of book marketing, I will be sharing the results of the book promotions I ordered in the previous podcast episode. So stay tuned for all of this and much more. Throughout this episode, I will be referencing tools and services that I've used. If you're interested in reading the transcript or would like links to anything that I've mentioned in the show, then check out the very long blog post or edited transcript at ameliahay.com/BTS026. During the week, I read through parts 1, 2, and 3 of book 2. After I finished part 2, I started to panic because I realised I didn't like my second book. As a result, I'm considering changing the plot. In short, I panicked because I knew my second book wasn't better than my first. My theory became apparent to me as I went through the outline and wrote the value shifts, conflict, and cliffhanger of each scene. I realised James was lacking motivation. My main character was simply going through the events of the plot because that's what I wanted. Book 2 is a disaster. There's no other way to say it. Deep down, this is something that I suspected and touched upon in a post on my blog called Should You Write a Novel in 30 Days? I'm going to be honest, I rushed through the character creation process, outlining and selecting the setting, and it's starting to show. So far, I've come up with 3 ideas to improve the plot and story arc of book 2. The first requires a substantial rewrite. The second 2 are just different than the first but have similarities, although the last 2 options most likely require substantial rewrite. At the moment, I'm stuck in the land of indecision and I'm not sure what to do next. I guess I just need to choose a path and stick with it. So stay tuned for more updates on this story. While I'm on the topic of book 2, you've probably noticed I'm no longer referring to the story by its title. The reason for this is simple. I'm considering changing the title. So far, I'm experimenting with ideas and I'll choose a title by the end of April or when I finish the next draft of the story. At the moment, the publishing date for this book is a little up in the air. This is because I'm already behind schedule and I just have no clue as to how long it will take me to do the work. I guess that's because I've learned it's going to take longer than what I expect and I don't want to set an unrealistic deadline, because what I do when I set unrealistic deadlines is I put it off. That for me, an unrealistic deadline is motivating. It makes me not do any work and I become panicked and I just stop and don't do anything. I know that doesn't work, and that's why I'm not trying to change the title. I just want to put my head down and work and figure it out as I go along. I have a bit of a book dilemma. Missing and book 2 are different from Immunity, which is currently book 3. In Immunity, James is working as an investigative journalist for a newspaper in New York, whereas Missing and book 2 are set in England and they have a different feel. Technically, Immunity was the start of a series called Byline, as in the byline of a newspaper article. For a while, I considered including all of the books in one series and naming that series after the protagonist, James Lalonde. At present, I'm starting to see the benefit in publishing Missing and Book 2 as a different series from Immunity and the other books that I've planned. A change like this means I will need to add a story between Book 2 and Immunity to turn the James Lalonde books into a 3-book miniseries or trilogy, because I don't think a duology makes sense. I'm yet to see a duology within the mystery, thriller, suspense and crime genres. So far, I've got a few ideas, but not enough for a complete book. Just a few ideas about the location and where the crime will be committed. I'm starting to feel a little discouraged about how much slow progress that I'm making on developing the story idea. However, I realize that I'm probably putting too much pressure on myself. On Friday, February 7th, I created my first Amazon advertisement on amazon.co.uk. I chose the product targeting option, and this is where the book appears on product pages of other books and within certain categories or genres on Amazon. It's completely different to the keyword-based ads, and I have since learned that these apparently are less effective than the keywords, so I've been told. I chose the product targeting option and chose 9 categories that relate to my crime thriller novella. Because the ad is on amazon.co.uk, there is no copywriting involved. Upon starting the ad, I chose a low bid with a daily budget of £5. The time frame for the ad is from February the 7th to February the 17th, but I selected no end date. With this ad, I plan to see how it goes and make adjustments as I go along, but I'm not expecting to make a massive amount of sales, break even, or even have a high return on investment. It's all about figuring out how to do ads and hopefully learn to enjoy the process. At this stage, I will point out that I have no idea what I'm doing with Amazon ad. I've purchased no courses, read no books. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along. Please don't take any of this as advice, because I'm most likely doing the wrong thing. Before I share the sales I received and the total price of these promotions, there are a few things you need to consider. I'm not enrolled in Kindle Unlimited. My crime thriller novella Missing was on sale for 99 cents in all regions, and not all of the email list promotional services are curated by genre. Now that I've shared all of that information, here are the sales I received while these promotions were taking place. It's worth pointing out there's no way of knowing that all of these sales were the result of the emails, but they occurred on the same day or the day after. Without further ado, here are my results. Bargain Booksy, 19 sales. Book Doggy, 8 sales. Awesome Gang, unfortunately I got 0. And the Fiverr gig, there was 1 sale during the time that the Fiverr gig was on, and I have no idea whether that's just some random person found it on Amazon or if it was a result of that particular gig. I've got no way of knowing. So how much did all of these book promotional services cost? I spent a total of 87.85 British pounds or 113.62 US dollars across all 4 book promotions. That's excluding the cost of my boosted Facebook posts. So to save you from doing the math, I didn't break even on these book promotions. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to. I'm okay with making a loss on this book. Obviously, this is something that I hope will change as I publish more books in this story world. The boosted post on Facebook helped me grow my audience on my author page. It didn't directly lead to more sales, partly because I've got no way of measuring this. Next time, I'm going to boost the post more strategically and aim for more clicks through to my website, where potential readers have the option to sign up to my email list and receive a free short story. Eventually, I will ask the most active subscribers to join my advanced reader team so they can get book 2 for free and leave a review if they want. So that's all of the tasks I completed in terms of writing and book marketing. Over the next few weeks, I will continue to experiment with Amazon advertising. I also want to start dabbling with Facebook ads and building my email list. This Saturday, I will release another diary episode where I will continue to discuss my writing and book marketing endeavors. If you have any questions or have tips on book marketing that you would love to share with me, please come over to the blog post at ameliahay.com/BTS026 and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for listening and happy reading and writing, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Authorpreneur podcast. If you love this episode, then hit the subscribe button and leave a review on your favourite podcasting app. I'm your host, Amelia D. Hay, and I'll see you next week for another episode.